Hello, everybody. While we are waiting for everyone else to join, I can do quick introductions. If you don't know me, my name is Andrew Hayes, and I am not a full-time personal trainer. I do not live in a gym. I am a busy parent who likes to help other busy parents with fitness, nutrition, and general lifestyle tips, such as this one. And I'm also not a doctor, and this is very important. If you're having major challenges with your sleep or health at all, you should talk to a physician. I am not even any kind of formally licensed sleep specialist. I am just a parent who has read all of the books and listened to all of the podcasts and worn multiple wearables to track my sleep and have learned a lot over the last 4 years becoming a parent to make sure that I get my quality sleep every night. And I'd like to pass that on to you. So let's begin with the 3 major sleep hacks. If you have questions, please save them for the end. I will answer all of that at the end because I promised I would do this in 5 minutes. So number 1, life-changing sleep hack that you've never heard before is don't let your brain play tricks on you in the middle of the night. I'll tell you what I mean by that. How many of you have ever woken up in the middle of the night, panicked about something you forgot to do the day before, right? Send an email, do something for your kid's school, whatever it is. And then how many of you have woken up that morning and been like, you know what, that actually wasn't a big deal. I don't know why I was so worried about that. That is a studied phenomenon. It is a part of your brain called the amygdala, and it is your emotional control center, and it goes haywire in the middle of the night. There's a lot of research showing that it's actually part of what makes us dream. So what you need to do is not let your brain play tricks on you. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you are suddenly very emotional about something, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're panicked, whatever it is, ignore that feeling. It is not a real emotional reaction. It is that part of your brain being hyperactive in the middle of the night. So you need to be aware, step 1, to not let your brain play tricks on you. And then step 2, get out of that spiral. Read a book, do a crossword puzzle, maybe walk around your apartment and your house for a few minutes, get a drink of water, anything other than to sit there and let that emotion continue to fester. That's not what you want to do. I know this sounds kind of bizarre and maybe even really simple, but it's really important for helping you get back to sleep, which you really want to do, of course, to get a full night's sleep. So do not let these emotions overtake you in the middle of the night. That's tip number 1. You don't need to remember the word amygdala. You just need to remember to be aware that this is an overreaction, and to 2, to change the script, go read a book, puzzle, whatever it is. Number 2, and this is related, you can play tricks on your brain right back. There is another phenomenon called paradoxical intention. And this is saying that the harder you try to fall asleep, the less likely you are to fall asleep. So if you wake up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and you try to go back to sleep for 5 or 10 minutes and you can't, you probably get really pissed, right? Who's done that? Me too. You're like, come on, why? I'm so tired. My day's going to be ruined tomorrow. This is called paradoxical intention. This is unrelated, but also, tangentially related to what we just talked about. What you need to do to fall back asleep in the middle of the night, if you are trying really hard to sleep and you can't, is try not to sleep, right? That is how we do it. Have you ever been sitting in a boring lecture or something and you start to nod off even though you're trying really hard to stay awake? That's paradoxical intention on the other side. So here's how you fix it. Get a book or some other activity. I already mentioned crossword puzzles, meditate, yoga, if that's what you like to do. Find an activity that you don't have enough time to do during your busy day, and do it only when you're up at 3 in the morning. So for me, I have a Kindle. I have a book on there always that I really, really want to read, that I'm excited to read, but I never have time because I have 2 kids and a job and so many things to do. I can't find 5 minutes to myself ever. So when I wake up at 2 in the morning, I'm like, you know what? Awesome. This might be 10 minutes. It might be an hour, but whatever it is, I get to read this book and I'm pumped about it because I finally have a quiet house for the first time all day. And again, if you don't like to read, maybe it's a crossword puzzle, maybe it's a certain magazine or something. Try not to just look at your phone generally because you have notifications and all kinds of stimulation that you don't want, but anything that you're excited to do. One caveat here, you have to be genuinely excited to do it. You can't be like, oh, I'm doing paradoxical intention, sorry, brain. You have to really find something you want to do. And usually sometime within 20 minutes to 60 minutes, you will fall back asleep. You'll immediately re-enter your sleep cycles and you will get that quality sleep. So don't worry about it at all. Don't stress about it. Being awake for 1 hour in the middle of the night is not a big deal. You just have to know that you're going to be awake and accept it and be excited about what you get to do instead. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is also probably one you haven't heard before, but there's a lot of misinformation around it. So let me clear it up. Alcohol does not help you sleep well. Alcohol does help you fall asleep. That is true. It ruins the second half of your sleep, which is when you get a lot of the most quality REM sleep. So if you compare taking a long time to fall asleep and then eventually getting good sleep versus falling asleep right away and getting your second half of sleep ruined, you want to go not alcohol every time. Now, I'm not here to say you can't drink. I like beers. I drink. I have a healthy relationship with alcohol, but here's the tip in itself. 2 hours of bedtime is when you stop drinking, at most, maybe even 3 if you can. You need to give your body time to metabolize that alcohol. If you can also drink water in between each drink as you're getting closer to bedtime, that's great too. So if you want to drink, great. I get it. It's stressful. You enjoy it. You're in a social setting, whatever the reason is. Awesome. Opt for happy hour, opt for a drink with dinner. If you do what I used to do and put the kids down and finally have a quiet 20 minutes to yourself and have a drink, glass of wine, whatever, at 8:30, it's really, really bad for your sleep. You're going to feel it the next day. So don't do that if you can avoid it. And I'll tell you why. If you're not aware, your body sleeps in cycles. So there are 90+ minute cycles, and you go from light sleep to slow wave to REM, and all of those are really important in their own way. And as the night goes on, you do more and more time in that REM as you get more cycles. So alcohol is letting you fall asleep early, but you're only getting a little bit of REM. And then by the second half of the night, you're awake, or you're just getting light sleep and you're going to wake up feeling groggy, irritable, less focused, all of those things. And alcohol also will probably shoot you awake at 2, 3 in the morning. And then you have to know the other tricks. So now you're doing all of them at once. It's a lot. So my tip number 3 is avoid alcohol within 2 hours of bedtime or more if you can. And that will really help you get that quality sleep. And what I will tell you is kind of a 4th bonus tip, if you're still watching, thank you, is you're going to be amazed at what 5 or 6 hours of quality sleep can do versus 7 or 8 hours of rolling around. You're kind of in and out of the things. You had a lot of alcohol, whatever it is. You can get by on a lot less sleep than you think when you focus on quality. And so if you are a parent, in particular, a new parent who has to get up in the middle of the night, these tricks will absolutely change your life. And if you have questions on sleep tracking, definitely ask me. I'm happy to help. You should join our Facebook group if you're not already in it. The link is in my bio. I always talk about sleep and other tips in there too. So that's it. 3 major sleep hacks to recap. 1, don't let your brain play tricks on you. That's your amygdala just being hyperactive. 2, you can play tricks right back on your brain with paradoxical intention. Find something really exciting to do in the middle of the night that will keep you awake, which will then help you fall back asleep. And then 3, alcohol within 2 hours of bedtime is not good for your quality sleep. Try to avoid that as much as you can. So that's it. Let's do Q&A. And one more plug for our Facebook group. If you like this webinar, if you want more tips like this, if you have future questions on sleep, you want to ask nutrition questions of our nutrition coach, anything like that, join our Facebook group. It's all busy parents or generally busy people who have lives outside of the gym and just want to be healthier as much as they can. And we're here to help any way we can. So let's do questions in the chat. What kind of questions do you have?